Hello, my name is Bihus, and this is Our Money, a program on anti-corruption investigations. Today's program is about the future, both globally and locally here in Ukraine. The future. The future is neither oil nor coal, but lithium. The metal without which we wouldn't have had any smartphones, laptops, or electric cars. Everything works on lithium batteries. The demand for lithium on the global market increases every year, and there's good news. Ukraine has a lot of lithium. There's bad news, too. The metal of the future was already embezzled through classic silent schemes of the past. Sometimes I say things like, corruption is stealing our future. Well, this time it literally is. Next, Nadia Bardai's report on those who have silently, without any auctions or competitions, acquired the most promising deposits. On the 1st of January 2018, electric cars will become 17% cheaper for all Ukrainian citizens. The interior of this sedan is not different from the interiors of other luxury cars. But the engine is dramatically different. The fuel tank of this car doesn't require gallons of gas because the car is powered by electricity. From an ordinary socket, the same way we are used to charging our smartphones, we get the electrocar, open the charging port, insert the charger, that's it. You can charge it from a power socket at home, in the garage, anywhere with power. An efficient electric car, tens of kilowatts of electricity instead of hundreds of liters of gas. $1 instead of $10. To cross 100 kilometers in an electric car, you must charge the battery for 15 to 20 kilowatt hours. In Ukrainian electricity costs, this amounts to $1. For $1, you can drink a cup of coffee or drive 100 kilometers in an electro car. We can see the screen which shows the charge level, and here's a picture of the battery you asked about. That's the lithium-ion battery, which allows the Tesla to drive for around 100 kilometers. The batteries are made of the lightest metals. Here, where the Tesla car is assembled. That's its second assembling after the factory in the US. That's where the battery begins. That's the heart of the electrocar. The heart of the electrocar is made of lithium. Lithium can be extracted in Ukraine. We can make plates for the batteries in Ukraine. Ukraine is among the few countries rich with lithium, so rich that we can start our own electrocar production. There are 3 explored lithium deposits in Ukraine, 1 in Donetsk Oblast, 3 in Kirovograd Oblast, and several unexplored deposits in Zhytomyr and Zaporizhia Oblasts, and between Kremenchuk and Kryvyi Rih regions. Negotiations were and are being conducted with Europeans, US, and Asian companies, which either extract metal or manufacture batteries, and negotiations on the production of electrocars. While the ministry dreams about the bright lithium futures, the valuable deposits are already distributed in the best traditions of the past. 2 explored lithium deposits were handed over to private firms without any competition. The 3rd deposit is being transferred through the same scheme right now. This is not an electrocar. It's clearly not that efficient Nissan Infiniti worth $60,000. It drives to the reception of Ihor Nasalyk, the Minister of Energy. This car belongs to a young Ukrainian businessman, Taras Ignashenko. He is also linked to one of the lithium deposits. At the beginning of 2018, the Petro consulting firm got a special permit for lithium extraction without competition. Its de jure owners are a restaurant owner from Lviv and a sculptor from Kiev, but the firm's telephone number is the same as that of Ignashenko's company. That's our sculptor's workshop. Seems like he's not here. The firm is officially registered on the outskirts of Kiev, but that's not there. Office number 3 must be Petro Consulting. Heard about it? No, never. The real office is in the Petro district of Kiev. They admit that Ignashenko is one of the company's heads, while the official registers list him as neither a founder nor a director. I want to talk to Taras Ignashenko. So is he the deputy director or the director? I'm the director general, he's the director. How long has he worked here? Let's say for more than a year. But Taras Ignashenko is not only interesting for his company, which had got a lithium extracting permit without having a license. This young and low-profile businessman is closely linked to much more famous people, to people who have the magnitude to sell off a third of the country's lithium. The person who is in the Infiniti is Ignashenko, but not Taras. It's his father. Advisor to the Minister of Energy, Volodymyr Ignashenko. Under Yanukovych, Volodymyr Ignashenko was an advisor to the Minister of Ecology, Edward Savitsky. He was responsible for minerals. Since 2018, an advisor to Ihor Nasalyk. Ignashenko spends almost every day at the ministry, on official and not very official business. On January 25th, we cited Ignashenko at the office of the notorious coal businessman, Vitaly Kropachov. At the same time, that office is being searched by NABU. Back in 2016, my colleagues cited Ignashenko at an airport with the president's business associate, MP Igor Konenko. They are even registered in neighboring flats. However, Konenko doesn't like to speak about his neighbor's love for lithium. Does your circle plan on extracting lithium? I have nothing to do with it. Who is Volodymyr Ignashenko? Do you know him? What's your relationship? I've already answered this. The Ignashenko's family is deeply integrated into the president's circle. While the senior official is seen with Igor Konenko, the junior has deals with Igor Khlorkovsky, son of First Deputy Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, a business partner of Petro Poroshenko. Do you work as the minister's assistant? Yes. What does your son do? Excuse me, I'm not going to. Does he own the Petro Consulting Company? Please spare us a minute. Mr. Volodymyr, why are you running away? Mr. Volodymyr, just a minute. What does your son do? Does he own a company? Did you help him to get the special permit? Ignashenko's son got lucky. The Petro Consulting, which he leads, got a special permit for lithium extraction without any competition, which is very difficult to achieve. Petro Consulting didn't explore anything. The Shevchenkivska deposit was explored by the state back in the 1980s. Then the State Commission affirmed the lithium deposits, while Petro Consulting just reapproved existing papers. The deposit was already explored, Petro Consulting only did a reprisal. It didn't find the deposit, it didn't explore it. There should have been an auction held. Take a look, please. Explain this. So let me explain. There are several kinds of exploration. Preliminary, repeated, detailed. There are different criteria of appraisal. So if he did the reappraisal of the deposit, if he did the so-called further exploration, then he has this right. People at the company itself seem to be skeptical about the way the permit was acquired. The methods have changed and a reappraisal had to be done. But you didn't go there, you just took the papers. We bought them. So you had just reappraised existing info? Yeah. But you didn't visit the deposit, did you? We will go there to work on... After you already got the permit? Don't you think the Mineral Service should have auctioned it off? Let's say maybe they should have. The Association of Gas Producers has been protesting this procedure for a long time, because using the de jure reappraisal scheme, the deposits are being handed over to friends, be it gas or lithium. We think this is not correct. We think that cases like this must become a thing of the past, along with similar cases, and all land like this must be auctioned. Not correct is a very correct way to put this. In 2 years, the son of the minister's advisor, having gotten the deposits for free, wants to earn millions on them. Millions of dollars annually. Throughout 2020, the company plans to extract 450,000 tons of lithium ore. That's about 4,500 tons of pure lithium. 1 ton costs $20,000. Thus, Petro Consulting will get around $90 million a year. The right to extract it cost the company around $1 million as a fee for the geological information. Did you help him to get the special permit? Mr. Volodymyr. It's very sad when the minister's assistants refuse to comment, even when presented with official documents. No competitors, cheap, and very lucrative. Thus, Nasalyk and Konenko's circles decided to continue and acquire another deposit, this time in Kirovograd Oblast. The company has already finished the imaginary exploration there. This means that the competition won't be held. Well, you got it. Some guys came out of nowhere, get one deposit, they're getting another one right now. A public competition? A strategic resource? International capital? No. What for? They don't need investment, they need revenue. By the way, there's another interesting part. Aside from Nasalyk and Poroshenko's associates, the company is linked to another interesting subject, who is also a famous businessman with a very long history, Vasyl Khmelnytsky. The company actually sits in one of his offices, but the details about his part you can read in the next version of the investigation. We just can't fit everything in the program. Meanwhile, let's take a look at who sits on other lithium deposits. Well, aside from Konenko's neighbor. Lithium is extracted in Canada, it's exported by Bolivia, it's traded by Chile. Even the countries who lack lithium make money on it. China manufactures batteries and electrocars with the Canadian and Australian lithium because they have none of their own. Ukraine has lithium. In our case, we will have a competitive advantage, foremost logistical, because lithium can be extracted in Ukraine. We can make plates for batteries in Ukraine, whole batteries, and we propose corresponding fiscal encouragement to assemble electrocars. But does it have a future here? Lithium isn't being extracted in Ukraine yet, but it's already divided. The circle of Nasalyk and Konenko have two deposits. The third explored deposit initially was acquired by a company tied to the previous government, but now another company decided to fight for it, a company from the Interior Minister's circle. In 2011, the Lithium firm got 100 hectares of state-owned land. In 2017, it got a permit to extract lithium there. It had to pay even less than Ignishenko did, only $75,000. The owners of the companies have changed several times in 6 years. At first, they were the people from Ivanushenko and Azarov's circle. After the revolution, the circle of Alexander Tabarov, an MP from Kirovograd, got a hold of the company. Now the owners are Egyptians, a company from the UAE, and the businessman Ihor Voronov, linked to the gang of Dmytro Firtash and to the MP Novinsky. While Lithium was seizing the state land and getting the permit, another company decided to extract lithium from the same deposit, the Ukrainsky Rydkisny Metali. Our money has discovered that among the co-founders and heads of the company are people from Avakov's circle. This is the only company that was refused a special permit without an auction by the Mineral Service. The latter said the company wants to obtain a special permit for the extraction of the Polahivsky lithium deposit, bypassing the auction and the licensing procedure. The company tried to get the deposit with a lawsuit, but the State Mineral Service register doesn't have the permit. Avakov's circle was left empty-handed this time. Even the prosecutor's office started doing something about this deposit, demanding to return the land and the licenses. On the one hand, this is nice, a confirmation of the illegal nature of the deal. On the other hand, even if the special permits would be revoked, I really doubt they will hold an open competition for them, instead of putting them silently in the same big pocket. There's another problem, a global one. You may have noticed that our report has a lot of names, but few numbers. We didn't even clearly state how much lithium Ukraine has. We just know from the textbooks, so to say, that there's a lot of it. That's because all the information about lithium is officially classified on the governmental level. That is, the deposits were already handed out, but you don't even have the right to know how much was stolen from you.
Ви навіть не маєте права знати, скільки у вас вкрали.
According to the data of the Interior Ministry for March 2018, there are more than 6,500 electrocars in Ukraine, of course, manufactured abroad. The batteries, which look like this. The Nissan battery consists of 48 sections like this. It has 3.8 kilograms of lithium. So that's lithium there? That's where the four elements of the cell are, which house the powder ionized by special additives. It is the driving force of the electrocar. Can you buy batteries like this separately in Ukraine? No, they all come from the US or European markets. Batteries like this can be made in Ukraine. The Ministry of Infrastructure is trying to create the best environment for the lithium miners. Our main suggestion is to implement a zero-income tax on operations with lithium and lithium-ion polymer batteries, which can be manufactured from our lithium here in Ukraine. The idea is as cool as this car. The conditions for the lithium extracting firms are splendid, but these conditions are being created after all the deposits were clandestinely distributed inside closed circles. But you know what's the most interesting? The information about the quantity of lithium is classified. The information on the exploration of minerals like this is a state secret according to the Code of Data, which constitutes a state secret, approved by an order of the Security Service of Ukraine. We know that Ukraine has the most lithium in Europe, but how much is there? Where is it? What's the area of explored deposits? The information on minerals, deposits, explored and appraised resources is classified for official use only. According to the Mineral Code, the minerals are the exclusive property of the Ukrainian people. We, the Ukrainian people, can find out the location of deposits and how much they hold. But there's a nuance to it. I'd even call it a dirty little secret. The security service of Ukraine has this secret. It's them who have classified the explored contents of mineral deposits, lithium included. It's just that certain minerals are a state secret. That's how the SBU answered the request. The information on lithium reserves was classified by request of state expert on secrets. It has been classified until 2020. Lithium is called the white oil. It's the way of the future, at least in the coming years. I hope that they won't load it onto trains or cars and take it out of Ukraine, so that we could keep track of the amount of extracted lithium, so that the state could make money on this. Firstly, the state could make money on lithium by holding an auction and getting the highest price for the special permit for its extraction. International investors and experienced companies could have been invited to participate in the auction, but it was all done clandestinely, and 2 of the 3 deposits in Ukraine were booked by the energy minister's circle and the president's associates. That's all for today. You can watch any of our episodes on YouTube, write us on social media, email us some interesting stories. See you on air in a week. This was Dennis Bihus and the Our Money program. Goodbye.